Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and I am an intuitive healer. So today I want to talk about why it's important to focus on what you do want and what you do want to create and what you do want to see in your life, as opposed to focusing on what you don't want. Think of it this way. Imagine that you are rummaging in the back of a closet and it's a dark closet. You're looking through for something to wear, and everything you pull out is something you don't want. And you're complaining about it. Why don't I have anything? How come I don't have anything that looks good on me? And you keep rummaging in this dark closet of all these old items that you don't want. So maybe it's a pair of socks that have a hole, or maybe it's a polyester dress from the 70s that doesn't fit right, or maybe it's a wool sweater that is drab. So you keep focusing and being in that dark closet. You keep rummaging, you refuse to leave it. And all the while you're complaining about what you don't want, you're complaining about what you don't want, and you're in that same space. Now, meanwhile, beside you is this big, beautiful, well-lit walk-in closet, and everything in it is something you do want. Maybe it's dresses that are cut and fit perfectly for your body, or a pair of jeans that just are snug in all the right places. So it's everything that you do want. Meanwhile, you're in the back of that dark closet. So what I'm trying to say with this is, when we complain and focus on and mentally replay these stories and these thoughts about what we don't want, it's like we're banishing ourselves to just be in that dark closet, even though what we do want is energetically actually right here for us. So when we complain and focus on what we don't want in our lives, it distracts us from actually aligning with what we do want. And when we blame and focus on what we don't want, the things that aren't working, we are hooking ourselves into it. So we're hooking ourselves into these lower vibrational states. For example, frustration or anger or helplessness or hopelessness, maybe even guilt and shame. And so when we're hooked into these lower vibrational states, it's like being chained into that dark closet. And if that's where we're at, it's less likely that we're going to attract what we want, because like attracts like. Energy is attracting what is an equivalent match, an energetic match to it, a vibrational match. And so if you're in the dark closet and you're angry and you're frustrated and you're blaming and you feel helpless, or maybe you feel despair or depressed, then it's like you're preventing or blocking yourself from receiving what you do want. Now, I am not saying, and I understand this veers on sounding ignorant. So I am not saying that we ignore or that we're in denial of the things that are happening in our world or in our lives that don't feel good to us. So for example, I am frustrated and do get frustrated with the state of the world. For example, with corruption, with deception, with war. There's many things that I find dark and uncomfortable, and to be very honest, make my blood boil at times. So I'm not saying to ignore that, or to be in denial of that, or to think positive and be like, la, 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 everything's good, when perhaps the truth is, when we look out, it's like, well, no, that really is not good, right? That those are things that are not good. However, what I am saying is that to hold space for that stuff, to be like, okay, so this is here, right? So perhaps let's make it more personal. Let's say if someone's living paycheck to paycheck and they're not getting a raise, but meanwhile grocery prices in this country anyway have gone up 30-40%. And now you're living paycheck to paycheck and you can barely afford your rent, your groceries, your gas, because there's yet another tax on gas. Those are things that are happening that are real, right? And so I'm not saying pretend that that's not true. Instead, I'm saying when we only hook ourselves into that reality, because there are multiple realities, energetically there are multiple realities. And so if we hook ourselves into that reality of like despair and oh my gosh, this is, I feel helpless, I feel this, I feel that, then we go down a bit of a rabbit hole. We stay stuck in that dark closet, and we block or put up a wall for anything else to come in. So instead, we hold space for it. Okay, this is true, and this is how I feel about it, right? I'm honest about how I feel about it. Okay, what is that frustration about? What is this fear about? And you allow yourself to really fully feel, right? Instead of just complaining and blaming, it's like, okay, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to pay my rent next month, or I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to pay for my children's activities, or okay, well, what is that fear really about? Okay, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. You allow yourself to feel it. So this is all very important. And at the same time, what is equally important is that we then focus on what we do want. So if it's a world where there is peace, where a world where we treat each other with respect, if it's focusing on what you want to create in this world, what offering you want to bring to this world, what you want your life to look like, what you want your neighbors and your family's lives to look like, and how you want everyone to feel uplifted, or whatever it is that you want for this world and for yourself. It is extremely important to take time to relish in that, to spend time. If you write about it, if you visualize it, if you daydream about it, if you talk to other people about it, focus on what you do want as well. So one of the best ways to do this is to meditate and connect yourself with that. So I'm going to take just 2 minutes, maybe 3, to give you just a bit of a taste of this. So I want you it's not going to be painful. It's going to be easy. And I promise you're going to feel lighter at the end of it. So just take a moment to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And I want you just to see that out to the right is that dark closet. So it's all the things that are happening in the world or in your life that you don't want. So we're first going to just acknowledge that. And now I want you to see or sense that off to the left is this beautiful path, this current of light. And I want you to allow yourself to just be pulled on that path, pulled on that current of light. And now you're being brought to this, it's like you're looking into this huge, massive, massive ball of light. And I want you to feel yourself being pulled right into it. And I want you to see and hear the things that you long for, the things that you want for yourself, for others, for the world. I want you to see yourself doing that thing that you dream of doing. Or maybe having those things that you dream of having, enjoying them. Now I want you to feel what you feel like. Feel the joy. Feel the celebration. And know that coming and spending time in this space where you can sense these things to be here. So all that you want is here in this frequency, held in this bubble, let's say. And every time you come here and participate. Participate in it. Bring your awareness and consciousness and intention to participate in this. You are laying the path. You're laying the path, the road, the connection for this to come to fruition in your physical reality. Beautiful. So taking one more deep breath and then opening your eyes. So I'd encourage you to practice this on a daily basis, even if it's for 2 to 5 minutes. And if you'd like support in processing and releasing some of the emotions around that are connecting you to the things that you don't want in your life, so the frustration or the anger, the helplessness or the fear, please reach out. We are all here for each other. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.